I don't have anything special to say about today's intro. This is just the intro. Apparently I do intros now, so enjoy. Our first up is Thunder Road. This is a 2018 movie written, directed, and starring Jim Cummings, not the voice actor of Winnie the Pooh, a different Jim Cummings. And yeah, this movie's pretty great. The basic premise is it's about a man, roughly my age, who is dealing with the death of his mother who recently passed away. And she's died pretty young. She was in her 50s when she passed. So it's really just a movie about grief. And it's great. It can be, so it's technically labeled as a comedy, but like, and I did laugh a lot, but it's not like you're laughing because like it's funny, or it's not really like a dark comedy. It's more just like that laughing because like, I don't know how to process these emotions, so I'm just gonna let a laughing sound out right now. And it's really, really good. They do such a good job too of like how grief really is, just like the mass range of emotions that grief really entails. Cause like he can go from like just like crying his eyes out, just bawling so much, to just like, thanks for coming, Jim. Oh, thanks, Barbara. Oh, I'm so happy you brought that quiche. That was great. Really appreciate it. And just like he jumps on such a dime, and like, but that's really what real grief is like you're so filled with all of these extreme emotions, and it's just like it's difficult to process them all. So your brain just kind of short circuits and kind of jumps around at times, and it's really, really good. I don't necessarily recommend it for everyone. I really liked it. I think it can be very hard to watch at times. In a good way, but like, because it's hard to watch at times, it's not really for everyone necessarily. I would say give the beginning of the movie a chance, the first 13 minutes. It's one long take of the son giving the eulogy at the mom's funeral. And it's incredible. And if you get through that, then you'll enjoy the rest of the movie. If you can't find yourself getting through that, you're probably not gonna enjoy the rest of the movie. Or you could also just watch the short film that the movie is based on. That's free online on Vimeo. It is just the first scene of the movie, but slightly different. I think they definitely improved upon it in the final movie. But yeah, it's really good. I really liked it. It's heartbreaking and I think very realistic, and just it's really good. It's really good. Our next movie is Swingers. This is a 1996 movie starring Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn is so freaking young in this and so skinny. He's 26 and just like the same height he always is, but just like he's got nothing to him. It's absurd. So the basic premise of this is that Jon Favreau was in a 6-year-long relationship, and then she broke up with him, and now it's been 6 months, and he's still trying to get over her. And he's just really struggle bussing. He's just trying to, like talk to new women, but he can't quite do it. And Vince Vaughn's there to just like encourage him along as he, sleeps around with everyone. But yeah, it's pretty great. It's really funny. It definitely feels like these are all a bunch of young guys, just young actors, and this is like their one shot at making a movie, so like they just put everything in it, so there's tons of references to Quentin Tarantino stuff, Martin Scorsese stuff, Spielberg stuff. But yeah, I really liked it. It wasn't until like the very end of the movie where I was like, yeah, no, I definitely really like this. It did have a good ending. There are a few like, kind of problematic things, just a few dated things. But overall, I thought it was a really solid movie. I think this would be a really good movie to watch right after like a breakup, just where you're still like really hung up on the other person, because that's Jon Favreau's just, he's so hung up on her. And like, this movie can be super hard to watch at times because like some of the humor is just from like him like trying to flirt with women, and then just like that scene from Of Mice of Men when Lenny is just like, he loves the mouse so much and he's just squeezing it and squeezing it and squeezing it, and then he just kills it. It's like, that's Jon Favreau in this movie at times, and it's like, oh my god, dude. But at the same time, I can totally relate to him like doing stupid stuff to try to impress a girl, and just like, I've done similar things, not to the extent that he's done, but I can definitely sympathize with him. So yeah, this one's This is a good one. It's good. It's hard to watch, but yeah, it's good. It's good. And lastly is Lady Macbeth. This is a 2017 movie starring Florence. I don't know how to say her last name. It's the chick from Midsummer. And the premise of this is that she is recently married to some dude, and he doesn't want to have sex with her, so she instead has sex with someone else instead, and then does some bad stuff. That's pretty much it, yeah. I was kind of hyped about this movie because I remember people just talking about it. Whenever Florence is in a different movie, they always mention this one as like, oh, she was so good in this. This is like where I first found her, and it was so great. So I was just something like, okay, yeah, I had high hopes for it, and I saw it was available on Prime, so I was like, all right, yeah, let's watch this. And honestly, I didn't care for it. I'm gonna kind of spoil something that happens at the beginning of the movie, but it's the catalyst for the rest of the movie. So her husband doesn't want to sleep with her, or it's just really weird and creepy about it. And then her husband goes away, and her father-in-law goes away on business stuff. And then she stumbles across one of like the farm hands, it's not a farm, but a farm hand who almost rapes the servant girl, and she stops that from happening. But then later she kind of makes like flirty eyes with him a little bit, so I was like, okay, interesting. But then after that he like breaks into her room, and then he like starts assaulting her, and she's against it obviously, but then she just starts getting into it, and it just feels really wrong, because like this was a rape scene that was happening. I don't know, it just didn't land at all for me, because it just felt more like someone's fantasy fulfillment of like they want to rape someone, but they want them to like first be against it, but then be into it, and it's just no, it just feels all sorts of wrong, and just like then the rest of the movie they just go about doing awful things, like Florence just does all sorts of really mean things. I just don't like, her character is awful, and like you can totally have a character who is an awful person and still like enjoy the movie, but I really don't think it works. I really don't think it works in this movie just because of like all the rapey stuff. It just, I don't know. I ended up putting this movie in the meh. I think it was well acted, and I think they had the potential to tell a really, really good story. I just don't think they executed it quite right, especially in regards to the thing that I've been talking about. I think that just kind of tainted the entire movie, and yeah. Alrighty, that is it for today. So, out of the 3 movies I watched, Thunder Road is sitting at number 2 in the really liked category, just underneath Lawrence of Arabia. And then at number 3 is Swingers, also in the really liked category. And then bringing up the rear for today is Lady Macbeth at number 7, out of a total of 9 movies that I've watched so far this year. So yeah, that's all I got. Okay. Oh, I broke it.